Alrighty. In the house. Down $9 on one XFA. Up like 75 on the other. Up $800 on the practice. Got a little bit of pullback in the morning, but we're back up to pretty much flat. NQ's down 0.13%. Sandisk still crushing it, up 7% today. Micron's up 5.18. Palo Alto, Google, Intel up like 2%. JP Morgan up 0.75%. Nvidia up 2.3%. We're at VWAP on the MNQ. Below IBH. Got the EMAs pushing up. Still looking fairly bullish. Let's see how it reacts at the VWAP here. Got oil at $96.42. Let's see how this goes. I'm in no trades right now. Sold a couple more long terms today. So a little bit like every day, and it just keeps going up. Got the financial juice on the left. Latest was Fed bids for 5-year notes, total 8.8 billion. Head of the International Maritime Organization, disruption in the strait would likely persist long after the conflict ends. That's no good. To be, if we get up to yesterday's value area high, which is at 27,453-ish. No huge orders on the Bookmap. Got 50 at 27,415. Other than that, nothing huge. Alright, let's put in a long practice account just to get into a trade, feel the market a bit. That's why we have practice accounts. Getting close to 10 a.m. Pacific time. A lot of times I see a reversal around that hour. So we've been pushing up for a while. Maybe we start going down in a bit. Be nice to see equities dump for the next couple of days or even weeks. Start adding to the long terms. I've been selling for the last week. We got gold down 1%. Oh, there's a press briefing coming up. Oh, did I just get stopped out? Okay, I just got stopped out. Let's see what Caroline Levitt has to say. See if she has something to say that moves the markets or not. Let's check out what earnings are coming up. UPS, GM, Coke, Starbucks, Visa. Pretty big companies coming out with earnings next few days. All right, this is not playing out. Let's get out of that. Got a little runny nose problem right now. All right, we're pulling back. How far do we pull back is the question. See if the yellow line holds a little support. Well, we got no viewers right now. That's fine. Diego didn't even stop by today. Hope he's doing well. We got what looks like a double bottoming on gold, but we got a lower high too, so you got to watch out for that. That's for sure. All right, we got Levitt speaking. Oh, Koresh. Thanks for stopping by, brother. It's awesome.
You all know we disagree often, myself in this role and all of you in the news media, but those disagreements must remain peaceful. Debating, peaceful protesting, and voting are how we need to settle disagreements, not bullets. Nobody in recent years has faced more bullets and more violence than President Trump. This political violence stems from a systemic demonization of him and his supporters by commentators, yes, by elected members of the Democrat Party, and even some in the media. This hateful and constant and violent rhetoric directed at President Trump day after day after day for 11 years has helped to legitimize this violence and bring us to this dark moment. Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence. The left-wing cult of hatred against the president and all of those who support him and work for him has gotten multiple people hurt and killed, and it almost did so again this weekend. When you read the manifesto of this shooter, ask yourselves, how different is the rhetoric from this almost assassin than what you read on social media and hear in various forums every single day? The answer, if you're being honest with yourself, is that there is no difference at all. Much of the manifesto of the would-be assassin is indistinguishable from the words that we hear daily from so many. For example, as the First Lady of the United States pointed out this morning, just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband? And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that.
1.1%.
This kind of rhetoric about the president, the First Lady, and his supporters is completely deranged, and it's unbelievable that the American people are consuming it night after night after night. As President Trump said on Saturday night at this podium, we as Americans must recommit ourselves to resolving our differences peacefully and uniting around the shared values that make our country great. The deranged lies and smears against the president, his family, his supporters have led crazy people to believe crazy things, and they are inspired to commit violence because of those words. It has to stop. And one more point. Saturday night served as yet another reminder of how important it is to fund the Department of Homeland Security. It is shameful that the United States Congress has kept this vital agency defunded for 73 days, the longest shutdown of a federal agency in U.S. history. The Secret Service is a vital component of DHS. It has been directly impacted by this reckless political gamesmanship. Everyone in this room who was there on Saturday night witnessed the heroes of Secret Service and federal law enforcement jump into action in the face of grave danger and uncertainty. Agents put their own lives in harm's way to protect the president, the First Lady, the Vice President, and members of the cabinet. One agent can be seen in video footage literally jumping onto the stage, not knowing where the attacker was or where the bullets were coming from at that point, to place his body in front of the President of the United States. These men and women are heroes. They perform their duties daily, and they have children and families too. And they do it despite the political turmoil surrounding their agency. Make no mistake, this defunding of DHS should be a national scandal. If Republicans defunded DHS and we saw in another attempted assassination on a Democrat president, I would hope that the media coverage would be relentless and unforgiving, and I hope that it continues to be now. With the World Cup, America 250, the 2028 Olympics, and a presidential election all ahead, the Democrats' obstruction is placing an enormous and totally pointless burden on the Secret Service that can get more people killed. Enough is enough. There should be no further debate about this. Democrats need to do what President Trump has been calling on them to do for 73 days in a row and fund the Department of Homeland Security, period. This is a national emergency, and every member of Congress needs to put their country over party and get the Department of Homeland Security funded. With that, I will take a few of your questions today. Daniel, thank you for being here. Why don't you kick us off?
Thank you, Caroline. The president Saturday after the assassination attempt came here. He emphasized that law enforcement did their job, keeping everyone safe at dinner. House Speaker Mike Johnson came out and said he believes the president needs greater protection. What is the White House's message to the millions of Americans who wake up here today nervous, uneasy about the safety of the president at events like this and the safety of other cabinet members?
Well, we certainly understand their
Well, we're
fears and
higher
their
than
worries.
this top.
As you heard from the president himself, he continues to have trust in the United States Secret Service. As I just said, these are great men and women who are doing their jobs and performing their duties honorably. As we all witnessed on Saturday evening, within minutes, the president, the first lady, the vice president, members of the president's cabinet were ushered out of the room. The perpetrator who sought to inflict massive harm, as we all now know with the release of the manifesto on administration officials and the president himself, was stopped at the security parameter that was set up. He tried to charge through it, as you saw on video, and he was quickly neutralized by Secret Service, and thank God that he was. With that said, obviously, the White House is always asking the tough questions and ensuring the safety of the president. I understand there will be a meeting early this week convened by the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, with top DHS leadership, members of the United States Secret Service, and our own operations team here to ensure the safety and the security of the president, as we do have many of these major events moving forward. So we're always monitoring operations and procedures, always asking the tough questions to ensure the president is safe, and the American people should be assured there's no higher priority for the president and his staff than the president's safety.
Caroline, Friday you said that you thought that gaggle would stick. Your last one for your baby. Back in 2024, when the president had the attempt on his life, Butler, you cut your maternity leave short back then. You're obviously back here today after Saturday. Can you just elaborate a little bit why you felt it was important to be here to bring to the media and talk to the American people from the stand?
Sure. It's sort of crazy timing when you put it that way for both children with 2 assassination attempts against the president. I'm honored to work in this job. I view this job as the president's spokesperson and the White House spokeswoman as public service. It's not just any job. I'm honored to do it, and I'm honored to work and speak on behalf of President Trump, who has faced unprecedented adversity and challenges, and I'm honored to work for him. And again, as I witnessed on Saturday night, just his dogged resolve and determination to get back onto the stage, and he was pushing Secret Service and law enforcement to allow him to address, and that really, I think, hopefully gives the country the type of strength that we need. And I certainly know, as his spokeswoman, and I can speak on behalf of all of the staff here at the White House, the president inspires all of us to just keep going and keep fighting every day. Thanks, Daniel, and congrats to you on your new baby. He's beautiful. Aisha.
A bunch of things coming
Just
up.
in the rhetoric, you mentioned the First Lady and Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's comments were, "Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow." And he said this days before the shooting, but there does seem to be a normalization of rhetoric about assassinating this particular president. How can this administration try to put an end to this?
Well, I think you heard it directly from the president on Saturday night, Aisha, that in his words, we need to recommit ourselves as a country to toning down the rhetoric and to unifying around what makes our country great. That's true of everyone who works in this White House, but as I said, it's also true of everyone who has a voice and a platform across this country, whether you're on television, a podcast host, people listen, and when you have mentally disturbed individuals across the country who are listening to this crazed rhetoric about the president day after day after day, it inspires them to do crazy things. And unfortunately, it's not just the media, it is the entire Democrat Party has made their pitch to voters across the country that Donald Trump poses an existential threat to democracy, that he is a fascist, and that they compare him to Hitler. I mean, these are despicable statements that the American people have been consuming for years. And so many mentally perturbed individuals are led to believe these words are truth and then are inspired to act on it. I have a whole host of examples that we can share with you after. It is pages and pages of major Democrat Party elected officials saying, such as Rep. Hakeem Jeffries just this month said, "We are in an era of maximum warfare everywhere all the time." Governor Josh Shapiro said heads need to roll within the administration. Senator Alex Padilla said people are, quote, dying because of fear and terror caused by the Trump administration. Senator Elizabeth Warren, President Trump is making the country look like a, quote, fascist state. Senator Adam Schiff saying
Big
President Trump
money
using
to the
a
cycle
dictator
out of
playbook.
Mag 7
Senator
and
Ed
into
Markey
power
calling
plays
President
like
Trump
F-cell
a
and plug.
dictator, saying that this administration's actions are authoritarianism
What's
on
F-cell?
steroids. Governor J.B. Pritzker, never before in my life have I called for mass protest
cell
disruptions. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. You have Rep. Presley saying, we'll see you in the streets. Rep. Monica McIver, a Democrat representative on Capitol Hill, we will not take this shit from Donald Trump. He thinks he's a dictator. We are at war. These are Democrat elected officials calling for war against the President of the United States and his supporters. I could go on and on, but again, when you have people in positions of power that are saying things like this every single day for years, you are inspiring violence by people who are already mentally ill. And that's what we've seen against this president for far too long.
We got M&Q kind of pulling down.
Disinformation and misinformation online. There will be bite-sized clips that will go viral to the point where there are Americans in this country that believe that what happened Saturday night was staged. How does this White House tackle that with social media companies out there, whether it's X, Facebook, Instagram? How do they work with these companies to make sure that doesn't get out of control?
SMR should pump
It's certainly a good question, Aisha. I don't have tangible answers for you on what we're doing with social media companies, if anything at all. What I will say is it's very important to us that we get the truth and the facts about this case and any case out there as quickly as possible to dispel some of that crazy nonsense that you do see running rampant online. And I think the Department of Justice and the FBI thus far have done a good job of disseminating the truth and the facts about this
industrial machinery company
attempted assassin, the perpetrator in this case. And I understand he'll be arraigned in court very soon. You all see that in the Department of Justice. Will be giving a briefing and an update later today. So as far as we're concerned, just providing maximum transparency and hopefully people will believe the truth rather than the lies and the conspiracies that so often do go crazy on social media. Rachel.
Thanks, Caroline. Does the administration view this as a security failure, or did the protocols work as they were designed?
The president has said he believes that the protocols worked. Again, you had a perpetrator who tried to breach the security parameter that was set up by Secret Service. And he was running as fast as he could and was immediately neutralized moments later. And again, having been right up there on the stage with the president and the first lady, I can tell you it was seconds before we were told to get down, and it was seconds before we found ourselves in the hold room backstage. It all happened literally within a matter of seconds. The president, the vice president, and the first lady being pulled to safety. That is not done if there's a lapse. So Secret Service did their jobs well. They communicated with one another to remove the president and the vice president
to $120 a barrel.
And obviously to neutralize the shooter as well. And thank God they did, because if that man was allowed into that ballroom, it would have been a much different scene.
And just one more follow-up on just how the White House could be rethinking security protocols going forward. I mean, we all remember after the attempted assassination in Butler, there were indoor rallies that were held after that. Is that out of the question, changing any additional security protocols when it comes to how the president does these events that are outside of the White House?
I definitely wouldn't say changes are out of the question. I think, again, that it's up to the White House here, and we view it as a great responsibility to ensure the maximum safety of the president and the vice president and the entire cabinet. And so we're always looking for ways to improve security. I think if you just sit here and say everything is perfect all the time, that's not a good way to operate. And so the White House will continue to engage with DHS and with Secret Service to find ways to improve and strengthen security. But as far as Saturday night is concerned, the president was satisfied with the response, and he's very grateful to the men and women who provided the response for him and his wife and members of his team.
5 people are watching. Come say what's up in the chat. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Caroline. The president has talked about rescheduling the dinner within 30 days. Does he have a specific venue in mind, and would he consider hosting it at the White House?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a room big enough here at the White House, which is another point to be made, and the president is absolutely right. It's why the White House Ballroom Project is not just a fun project for President Trump, like you will read in the media. It is actually critical for our national security. that a larger, secure building on this complex, which is the most secure complex in the world, is built to accommodate not only large amounts of guests, but also the president, the vice president, members of the cabinet. The line of succession in this country should be able to gather freely in safety without the fear of threats or political violence. And the White House ballroom will provide that. And so it's critical that we get this project done as quickly as possible.
Iran as well.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Caroline. Two questions, if that's all right. First, on the security situation on Saturday, kind of a follow-up here. Previous administrations have sent both the president and the vice president to the dinner. But after the foiled attack on Saturday, if the dinner is rescheduled, would President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance both plan on attending? And is it wise to have both of them in the same spot, given the presidential line of succession that you mentioned a second ago?
It's definitely a good question, and I know that it's one that will be raised. I can assure you the president intends to attend the event, as he has told all of you publicly. I don't want to rule in or out the vice president's attendance, but certainly that's a conversation.
Shouldn't J.D. Vance be in Iran right now?
Iran has proposed a mutual reopening of the strait, leaving the nuclear discussion for later in the process. Given that the nuclear program has been a red line for this administration, would the president agree to that kind of phased negotiation?
Well, only because it's been reported, I will confirm the president has met with his national security team this morning. The meeting may be ongoing,
the political
maybe
situation
not.
is so fluid.
Speak affirmatively because I was prepping to come out here, but the proposal was being discussed. I don't want to get ahead of the president or his national security team. What I will reiterate is that the president's red lines with respect to Iran have been made very, very clear, not just to the American public, but also to them as well. I wouldn't say they're considering it. I would just say that there was a discussion this morning that I don't want to get ahead of, and you'll hear directly from the president, I'm sure, on this topic very soon.
I'm going to ask you about the Fed chairman, but first, 3 assassination attempts in 3 years. Is this going to change the type of events that the president goes to?
Well, again, that's going to be part of the conversations moving forward. But as you heard from President Trump, he does not want these deranged lunatics and these grave acts of political violence to change our American way of life. And I think it's a very brave thing for him to say. It'd be very easy for him to just hunker down here at the White House where he knows he's safe. But the president wants to be out across the country. He wants to go across the country to meet with Americans. He wants to celebrate the 250th birthday of our nation's anniversary this summer. As you know, we're gearing up for a big UFC fight here on the South Lawn. So there's many exciting events I know the president wants to be part of and will be part of moving forward. He's undeterred in that way, and it's something that inspires all of us here to keep going.
Senator Tillis is now dropping his objection to allowing Kevin Warsh to be confirmed because the DOJ has closed their investigation. Is the president satisfied that an Inspector General report into the Federal Reserve is enough to look into these renovations?
The president understands that the Inspector General has greater tools at their disposal, perhaps even more powerful than a grand jury, to continue investigating the financial mismanagement of the Fed building, which is a priority for the president. Look, he's a builder himself. When he sees something has a lot of cost overruns, is taking too long, and in this case, ripping off the American taxpayer, he wants to get to the bottom of it. I understand Senator Tillis put out a statement saying he'll support Kevin Warsh's confirmation. That has been our position all along from day one. He is more than qualified for the job, and we look forward to working with the Senate on his swift confirmation process. Megan.
Follow up on Warsh. Will the president be satisfied once the Fed's Inspector General finishes that investigation, even if it finds no evidence of wrongdoing?
Well, that's a hypothetical question. I'll let the president speak on it when we see the results. It's obviously far too early to say.
And relatedly, as a follow-up, now that it looks like Warsh will be confirmed by the end of Jay Powell's term, is he still considering firing Jay Powell if he stays on as governor after that?
I haven't talked to him about it specifically, but I think the president will be satisfied once Kevin Warsh is confirmed as the Fed chair, which he should be. Karen.
On Iran, the president had said last week that the U.S. has started the process of clearing the Strait of Hormuz of mines. Do you have an update on how many have been removed and an estimate of how long that process could take?
I don't, but I would defer you to the Pentagon on that. We'll make sure they get you an answer, Karen.
It's an ongoing process, though. It's still actually happening right now.
Again, I would defer you to the Pentagon on anything with respect to clearing mines in the Strait of Hormuz.
Fran. Thank you very much.
All right, we're
I know that you said said that the White House is reviewing the security protocols for things that could be done differently in the future. Have you identified anything so far that you would like to see done differently, or ask the Secret Service to make any changes in the security protocols for the president, particularly at these large events that are taking place off the White House campus?
Not yet, no, but as I said, there will be a meeting here at the White House in the earlier half of this week, so those conversations will take place.
Take some liquidity and bounce
And I would
out.
also just add, you know, look, the Secret Service does not detail their procedures or operations to the public for obvious reasons, because you have crazy people who try to hijack them and get around them. So these conversations will take place in private, but if adjustments need to be made to protect the president, they will be made.
Doing like it does, for instance, with a joint address to Congress for these large events, and designating someone as the designated survivor for future large events that the cabinet attends.
Well, those conversations ahead of the Waka dinner did take place, but there were several members of the cabinet in the line of succession who did not attend for various personal reasons.
Chris, have you guys
so designating one survivor was not necessary, as we had several members who were not there already.
This year?
People were forced to dive under tables and fearing for their lives on Saturday night, including many of the people in this room, myself included. What is the president's message to those people who experienced that terrible trauma and maybe are still fearful
He is a
today?
position trader.
I think he would say, as he sort of did on Saturday night, coming in here in his tuxedo, you know, we can't allow these crazy people to let us be afraid. We have to keep moving forward, showing up, doing our job, celebrating our country, and doing what we know is right. But certainly we'd like to see the rhetoric against this president and his supporters toned down, because it is inspiring these crazy people across the country to target not just the president, but those who work for him and those who support him. And it must end.
Is he following the arraignment of the suspect today?
Yes, he is, and I know you all want to follow that too. It's happening in a few minutes, so I'll let you all go. The Department of Justice is also going to be speaking momentarily following the arraignment, and I pray that this is the last time I speak to you for some time until after my maternity leave. So thank you, guys.
All right, there you go. Levitt's done speaking. All right, those are the headlines from the Miss Levitt. And she says you will hear from Trump about Iran soon. How soon? Your neighbor's ultra rich though, but lives a humble life, no doubt. He probably disowned his kids. Or gave all his money to his kids. Who knows? But good for him. Serving the local community. All right, we're still pushing up here. Let's see if we get a breakout. I don't want to get in here. Let's get in one micro. I'm just going to give it like 30, 40 seconds. Let the next candle print. If it's not green, we're out. Just trying to get a couple points. Alright, 15 seconds till the next candle prints. If it's red, we're going to be out. And come on, give it a couple more seconds here. Oh, he lives with his kids? Extended family? That's good. Alright, let's get this push up here. I want a strong push or I'm out. comes a little bit of volume. Good equities, Tesla, Palo Alto pushing up. Alright, I'm out. Didn't push strong enough. I want to see a strong push right away. It might push now. It is what it is. Made like $5. That's how it works sometimes. I'll be back. All right, getting a little rejection here. That's if you pull back or not. No new headlines other than the Levitt press secretary's statements. Yeah, Koresh, I like the volume candles. That's what I use on TradingView. Volume candles are nice. That's for sure. Is that what you're using on your charts? All the volume candles? Right there. Let's make that a favorite. Yeah. Does X offer Renko? Yeah, I got Renko. Right there. So Renko right here. It's got a bunch of stuff. The newest one is the volume candle though. Are you trading on Top Step, Korish? I like their stats too. Stats are cool. Check out your daily stuff. You click on I don't know, you can see your trades for the day. You can make a journal. It's cool. Oh, you use Sierra charts. I don't think I've ever used Sierra. Maybe I might have tried it out for a little while. A couple years ago. And you do your charting on TradingView? Yeah. Yeah, I got the TradingView too. They usually have like 2-3 times a year. They offer like 80-90% off. I usually grab the yearly then. Just a couple $100 for the year. It's worth it. I got the premium plan. I don't think I have any add-ons though. Well, we're getting no new headlines. That's boring. Koresh, you use Renko as its price based and makes it easy to trade. Yeah, it's a cleaner chart, especially during New York session when there's a bunch of volume. That's for sure. I use two charts, both ATR. The higher time frames is M5 and the entry on the M1. What's M5 and M1? Like the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart? Is that what you're saying? I usually trade on the 1 minute, but I'm always look back at the 5, the 15, the hourly, the daily, just to get an idea of what to expect for the day. Tick charts are pretty cool too. Where the heck did the tick charts go? Oh, actually, that's time, I guess. Tick charts. No, whatever works. Gotta go with it. Five-minute Renko charts. You like looking at that? Let's see. Let's look at the 5-minute Renko chart. Look at that. Boom. Boom. Yeah, the Renko charts look way cleaner. That's for sure. Alright, we're still in the zone that I drew. It'd be nice to get down to this box here to get long. Pretty much flat for the day. Down 0.02% on the NQ. And oil is up 2.35%. Take a look at equities. Tesla's up 0.5%. Palo Alto's up 2.5%. SanDisk is up 7.5%. Meta's up 0.75%. Microsoft up 0.25%. Apple down 1.62%. SanDisk was the play today, 7.5% up. That's insane. Let's get back to the 1 minute chart here. Got a little pullback, now trying to make another push up. Alright, you know what? Let's put the rank go up. There we go. 5 minute Renko? Alright, let's see. 5 minute Renko chart. Alright, we got a decent pullback. on the Renko. And on the Renko chart, I came into position here. That was at 8 a.m. though. That was like 3 hours ago. On the Renko, we got lower highs here. Yeah, I like Renkos. I was using them when silver was pumping a couple months ago. Use the second screen M1 Renko. Thought you said 5-minute Renko. We gotta come up here. If we break, maybe a pullback, new highs. Anything's possible right now. Levitt said you will hear from Trump soon about Iran. Let's see if there's anything on Truth Social. Trump's talking about Jimmy Kimmel. 22 minutes ago, that's his last truth. If you want to see it. That's the last truth from Trump. He hates Jimmy Kimmel, that's for sure. Got the boys at Top Step still talking. I got this one guy streaming with 11,000 watching now. Wow. That's crazy. Good for him. Looks like he's speaking a different language though. He does have the white chart. That's the worst. People trading online on live streams with white charts, they don't understand, man. Alright, let's put this back on oil. Change the rank of the volume. Oil at $96.70. Getting closer and closer to the 100. Remember, Trump wants oil below 100. All right, we're pulling back. We got a little bit of a double top in there. I mean, the screen on the left, 5-minute Renko, and 1 minute on the right. You will not notice the pullback so much. Okay. Like I said, I like the Renko. I don't use it exclusively, but I definitely like it. Man, I gotta speak this. I gotta speak the Indian language. These guys got the viewers. Got Trader TV with 5,000 viewers. They're killing it. Just giving updates on price action. That's pretty cool. But Koresh, buddy, you're a true one. Super homie over here. Koresh. Koresh in Texas. Wrangling some cattle while he's trading stocks. A real one. Is my mic on? Oh, I still got... Koresh, you could have told me that my Gone to Touch Grass was still on. Come on, bro. Help a brother out. I'm just kidding. That's on me. All right, nothing new from Trump other than the blasting on Jimmy Kimmel. He's definitely watching those late night talk shows. I don't think Trump gets enough sleep. The guy's up all night, and he's up right in the morning. He's probably sleeping like 5 hours a day. So we're down $1, like $2 on an express count. Up 75. So I'm up like $70 for the day. Practice count, I'm up 855. So I've been trading okay. Just not picking the right accounts at the moment. Man, I feel like going long here. Tesla's finally making a little bit of a move up. I'm underwater on my Tesla shares. My average is 393 bucks. Correct. Actually, my boss is looking at me like I'm not working. Ouch. That's hilarious. Karish is a real one. At work, still watching the stream. That's sick. Karish is definitely a real one. Haven't seen Diego here today. Hopefully he's all right. I don't know. Like 0 headlines coming out. That's kind of strange. Are they holding back? Just getting ready for like a huge headline? It's like Iran-US talks broken down. Or maybe they made a deal. It's like, deal done. Strait of Hormuz open. NQ to 30 grand. Gold to 10 grand. Alright, I'm gonna let this marinate for a while. Still in the range. It's a pretty big range. If you pull down to like 27,300 area, might be looking for a buy. Let's see. I'll be back. All right. Diego. I was just talking about you. Finally. Like, where's Diego? Hopefully he's good. How you doing, Diego? You got the eval started? Don't be sorry, bro. I was concerned about you. I'm like, oh, Diego in here. Hopefully everything's all right. Long day at work. All right. I get it. You in any trades or just watching the market? I'm looking for a pullback down to VWAP at least, or into this zone right here. Take out a couple of these guys. We got oil touched 97.21. So looking like it wants to go to 100. Diego's just watching. Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good thing. I'm just watching right now too, honestly. Let me just double check and make sure I'm not in a trade. No, I'm not in any trade. We got Koresh's boss looking at him like he's not working. We got Diego looking at the charts. Me and Koresh were having a little conversation about Renko charts. I don't think too many people use Renko charts, so it's actually a little edge in the market. If you're looking at something that like, no one else is looking at, that's for sure. Let's see if we get like a bull flag kind of play here. Well, let's see what happens. We're not getting too big of pullbacks, like 10, 20 points max. We're 49 minutes away from power hour. I don't want to dox Diego, but he's from the West Coast. He's a West Coast homie. All right, just for the sake of it, let's go long. Let's see. Seeing the 9-day moving average curling up. VWAP's kind of flat. Like, let's put a stop here. Yeah, Diego's got a good memory. I think you're correct. Koresh is from Texas. Hey, let's just refresh the financial juice here, see if anything new here. We think there is still a compelling case to look through the volatility in these series for now until volatility eases and the trend becomes clearer. I don't know why that's regarding. That's from the UK. Nothing major in headlines. Koresh used to live in San Diego. San Diego's awesome. Big fan of San Diego. All right, we're pulling back now, so that long's not looking too good. All right, as soon as I say that, we get a beautiful, nice green candle. These are volume candles. So the thicker the candle, the more volume. The daily candle on the NQ. Or just the daily candles on the NQ. Like, it's insane. What a push up. Like, look at that. These are daily candles. Since March 31st, we just been going. We're up 4,500 points. That's wild. But Diego, yeah, that's just watching today, huh? Are you off work or are you still at work? Hey, Koresh, is your boss still staring at you or what? You're still at work? Oh, okay. Diego's still at work. But as a real one, he came by and came into the chat. It says 6 people are watching. Someone come in, man. Come into the chat. Start some convos. Oh, now 5 people are watching. Someone got scared. They're like, oh, F this guy. No new subscribers today. That's all right. All good. Koresh is in Dallas, Texas. Alright, looks like I bought the top. So if you break out. Just consolidating here for the last 45 minutes to an hour or so. Koresh, yes, at work and waiting for a setup to enter a trade. My boss knows that I care of things on time. Take care of things on time. So he doesn't bother me. All right, that's good. Getting your job done and doing stuff on the side. As long as your job's done, boss can't say it. Can't say anything, you know. I run my own business as well. I have a staffing agency. And I don't mind if my guys are on their phone or doing whatever, as long as they get the job done. That's all that matters. It's all that matters, baby. Diego, you like Dallas? Very nice city and humid. I've never been to Dallas, but I want to go one day. I got to bring my kids, though. So there's got to be things for the kids to do. All right, well, this trade's not really working out. Just sitting there. Koresh mostly work from home, but Mondays are required to come into the office. Oh, okay. I work from home all the time. And now even sales calls you just do on Zoom or just a phone call, a little conference call. And I got a dispatch system, software system that I just send the workers to work. Before I had to call each worker and be like, okay, you're going here. Now I just have a software program that does it. Koresh, it's very expensive now to buy a house due to influx of people. I'd rather go back to the mountains. Like the mountains, go live in a tent or what? Make a tree house? All right, let's see if we get a push up here. I'm on a practice account though. So take that for what it is. Krish, I live in Montana also. Krish, you don't live in Montana, do you? Thought you were in Texas, brother. Or is there a Montana, Texas? I don't even know. All right, we're gonna pull back now. Check out the Bookmap. It's pretty thin. No huge orders. Oh, Koresh. I go there in the summer. Now in Dallas. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Montana and Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks. Let's go. Well, let's just let this play out. Practice account, not too worried about it. Gotta go touch grass. Kind of feeling FOMO. Like I want to add to it. Adding to a losing trade typically doesn't work out. All right, sorry about that. Still consolidating. Koresh. I asked my neighbor to explain consolidation in the market. He said that big guys are loading their guns, and we retailers should only trade at the bottom of the consolidation. Yeah, usually that's what consolidation is. They consolidate, get enough people trapped, and they make their move. And that's why they're consolidating. The market makers, they make the market, right? It's a true statement, Koresh. All right, we're still in the zone. Nothing's happening. Oh, I had the mic muted. Chewing on some food right now. All right. Got stopped out. Getting a push back here. Let's see how low we go. All right, we're pushing back. All right, gentlemen, stepping out for a few hours. Might see you again during Asian session. Have a blessed day. Koresh, you too. Appreciate that. That's if you get a pushback down to VWAP. Maybe a long at 27,400 might work out. But Koresh, thanks for stopping by. You're a real one, bro. Thank you very much. No new headlines. This might be just a technical pullback. It's no big orders in the Bookmap. It's pretty thin. All right, we're still pulling back. Got the 9-day moving average coming down. Gold still consolidating. Oil's at $96.44, up 2.19% for the day. NQ's fairly flat, down 0.13. Still pulling back though. All right, let's see if we get a push up here. Stop just under that last wick. Only 2 people watching right now. My bad. Oh, I still got the wait from Mike thing up? No, I don't. All right, perfect. All right, now we're going to push up. Not much volume. A push up nonetheless. All right, now it's come back down. Rejection off the 9-day moving average. right, let's see if we get a push up. I mean, that was a good volume candle going down. That could be a reversal right here. That candle. All right, we're getting a candle. So that's why I have a stop right below that candle. The big one. Looks like it's going to hit my stop. What the? All right, looks like we're going to get hit there. All right. All right, touch in the 9-day. VWAP still. Where the heck did VWAP go? Actually, we're right at VWAP. VWAP's been pretty flat. Nothing new in the financial juice. Let's see if we get a little action here with the VWAP and the 9-day. About to touch each other. All right, we're just going to let this marinate. Nothing's happening. I'll be back. All right, we're in power hour. See what happens. It's only one person watching. I think that's myself. That's all right. Got a nice pull back down to VWAP. No headlines. It'd be nice to get positive on my XFA down $1.60, but I don't feel like risking too much. All right, we're pushing down again. I drew this range a couple hours ago, but it's never really come down. All right, let's see if we get this push up. It's no big orders anywhere. All right, we got some decent volume there. Let's see if we get a trade here. I'll let the next candle print. Kind of feel like a long. Up to maybe 27,450. All right, let's see. Let's see if we get a push up here. At least up to maybe 16 points or so. I like how the 9-day moving average is pushing up. There's some headlines, nothing big time. If it's a market moving headline, it'll be red on the side here, like this. All right, let's see if we get this pump here. Not getting the strong push up that I was looking for, that's for sure. Alright, we're getting a little push up. So got 40 minutes left in the New York session. Alright, we're just gonna trail a stop up. Probably not the best play, but not much time left in the trading day. Don't want to take too much of a risk. This will get me to break even, at least, for this XFA account. No one's watching right now. That's brutal. Come on. Alright, we're still pushing up. Let this marinate, I guess. See if you get a pump up. There's no reason to. No headlines. Bookmap's pretty thin. It's 50 contracts at 27,465. See where that goes. No one's really watching right now. I'm taking a break. I'll be back. All right, we got Apple pumping right now. Apple's down still 1.43%, but she going. Bunch of volume kicked in there. Nvidia kind of stalling out. Let's see what it does. On top of this range box, probably not the best time to get in. 30 minutes left in the New York session. No big contracts anywhere. It's probably not the best trade, that's for sure. All right, we're going to let this play out for a little bit. But the EMA is going up. Indicators are looking pretty bullish. Well, we haven't had the best day. It's been working my way up. All right, let's see if we're going to push up or if it's going to pull back down. All right, we just touched. It just wicked right to the channel. Or the range, sorry. It's not a channel, it's a range. We'll have the MOC coming up here on the left side. All right, nice wick down to almost touch the 9-day moving average. Let's see how the next candle prints though. All right, we just snap back to entry. Let's see how the next candle prints. 9-day moving average still moving up. All right, we're gonna add one more long here. Come on, let's see how push. Push it. Ouch. Ugly wick. Come on. Oil's down to trying to hold support at 96 bucks. Ideally, I'd like to see oil push down, but it's trying to push up, of course. If anyone's watching, no one's watching. That's all right. All right, we just pushed below entry. Now we're in the negative. All right, we're still pushing down. Okay, this is a big candle here. I think we're gonna get out of here. Let's see if there's any support. That's a huge candle. That volume is building. Ouch. No news. Technical play here. Definitely longed at the wrong time. We got VWAP at 27,400. Can definitely go touch that. Down 60 bucks on this trade. Looking for a manual stop. Oil's pushing up. Doesn't look the best, that's for sure. MOC will be here on the left. I don't know if I'm going to hold until then. Gold's been consolidating for the last like 3-4 hours. In a relatively small range. All right, just added one more micro to the long side. We had a bunch of volume right here, this candle. Let's see if it's a reversal. I'm looking for this to be a reversal candle. Let's see if we can get some more volume coming in. Not like oil's trying to push up again. Come on. Well, oil to dump. Alright, let's see if we get this push up. Price target would be something like 27,460. That's what I'm looking for. I'll break out of this box. Alright, now we're pushing down. Ouch. So we got another reversal pattern right there. Realistically, a stop should be down here. I don't know if I want to risk that much. Brutal. We got the 9-day moving average like pushing down now. So that's bearish. Alright, we're going to push down here. Try to add on the way up. I was looking at a breakout. Didn't happen. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent discussed risks from overcapacity production with the EU. Well, we're 6 minutes away from MOC. Let's see what happens. I guess I'm risking 110 bucks. I want to see a push up, a break of these candles here. There must be stops up here somewhere. That's a 1-to-1 trade right there. Put a buy. So we're putting a buy stop here for the breakout. Alright, here we go. Let's see if she gets this push. There we go. We got just added one more to the long side. Are we going to get a push? That's the question. Alright, let's see. I just added 3 more contracts. Still 4 minutes away from MOC. Alright, let's get out of that. Didn't get the push up. Let's see what MOC brings. I'm out for the day. No more All right, looks like I got stopped out there. MOC's in. South side. And video's rolling up here. Tesla's coming down. Apple's coming down. Sandex still pumping. Wow. All right. There we go. We got a bunch of orders coming here. All right, we're done. All right. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Appreciate it. See you in Asian session.